1 minute. Seconds.
The following is a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
Welcome to the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense on the Spartan Media Network.
Throws the home run ball deep. Nick Marsh at the 10-yard line of Maryland. Angles to the right pylon. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. Childs takes a shotgun snap. He'll keep it. He has daylight on his feet into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. Here we go. Back it comes a little bit of a high snap. Pulled down by Exley, though. The kick is up, and it's good. Yeah! Spartans win.
The Jonathan Smith Show is also brought to you by MSU FCU. Spartan fans dream big with MSU Federal Credit Union. Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Coors Light, choose chill. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. And Michigan's premier motor coach company. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. And Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartan shopping experience. Now let's join you.
Welcome, everybody, to One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing, the site for all the Jonathan Smith radio shows this fall. George Blaha here with Jehuu Caulcrick and the head coach of the Spartans, Jonathan Smith. And, Coach, great to have you. Great to be with you. Fans were excited to see you, and we're all excited about this second year of your regime. And you've certainly done a lot of work in the offseason to replenish this roster.
Yeah, there's been a ton of work starting all the way back shooting in December and January, and then the guys continue to work. And, the roster additions and, obviously the recruiting of a part of that, and then development, right? Spring football, a lot of work. Improvement there, diving into the summer. I think these guys have put a lot of effort into the summer, fine-tuning their game, getting bigger, faster, stronger, and then just finishing up a training camp where I thought it was pretty physical, it was competitive, trying to make it hard. Like a lot of these games, it's hard to win, and so those guys pushed through it. Now they're leading into an exciting game week that just a few nights away.
Your first game coming up on Friday night shortens your first week, but I guess you got rid of the off day and started it on Sunday. Am I correct?
Yeah, on a typical game week, when you're playing on Saturdays, our off day would be Monday, and so we just pumped everything forward. So the off day was on Sunday, and then practice Monday through, and got another one tomorrow, which we need to take advantage of. Really 2 days of kind of what we would call Thursday, Friday practices will be Wednesday and Thursday, and then kick it off, Friday night.
Coach, from a former player side of things, when you go through camp, it's daunting, and then this game week is super exciting because you get to hit someone else.
Yeah.
But from a coach's side, like, what's your excitement like? Like, what goes through your week, and especially like this, Thursday night before the game and all that? Are you excited?
Yeah.
What's the
game week? Definitely has some excitement for the coaching side of it, but it also, it's getting closer. So you start thinking in your head, did you cover all these situations that could arise? Is this guy's ready? Have we done that play particularly well? And so you start having those thoughts and whatnot. I just take confidence in the work that these guys have put in. Again, we got a couple of practices, and so that part, I'll definitely, my butterflies will be going. So you start that Spartan walk, and you get into that stadium and a packed house, and learning the student section is going to be packed again, and all of that will get me pretty excited.
Record size student section this year. Should be a great home field advantage. And you mentioned the Spartan Walk. You guys stay on campus at the Kellogg Center.
Yep.
And then make your way to the stadium. I know that's exciting for the fans, and it has to be pumping up the players as well.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate it. I mean, you're getting focused on as you're going, but you recognize so much of the support, right? The energy of your fan base, and it's meaningful for our players, not just maybe a fan they don't know well. They've got family there recognizing them, hugs from mom, and all those things take place. And so it can be almost even emotional besides just the excitement of that walk. And then obviously you get into the stadium and you begin to lock in.
Got a very interesting opponent, Western Michigan from the MAC. The school's right down the road. They've had plenty of wins in their past. So these opening games against MAC schools from your state are not a walk in the park, are they?
No, I mean, you look at, I was even just studying their first game last year. They went to Wisconsin and gave them all they could handle. I mean, they had the lead in the fourth quarter, the game one of last year. And so, getting bowl eligible this last season and coming off of some momentum from the previous year. And Coach Taylor does a really good job.
Want to talk about your captains? I know, Jay, you'd like to talk about them as well, and we'll do that. First, let's take a break on the Jonathan Smith Radio Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
When you're looking for world-class care that's around the corner and in your corner, there's an answer. Michigan Answers. Michigan medicine is growing to care for more of Michigan than ever before and bringing the latest research and treatments closer to you. In hospitals and clinics across the state, we're showing up for you where and how you need us most. Because Michigan doesn't quit, and neither do we. Michigan Answers at michigananswers.org.
Hey, Michigan State Spartans, ready to one-up your rivals off the field? Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. By showing up to donate blood, you can help your school win $1 million for student or community health, score a limited edition home field designed Michigan State Spartans t-shirt, and most importantly, save lives. Go to bigten.org/Abbott to find a donation location and put Michigan State in the lead.
Meet, greet, and compete in Michigan's capital city. The Lansing Sports Commission is dedicated to helping you host your next athletic tournament or event in Greater Lansing. Our free services include everything from event development and tournament planning to promotions and recruiting volunteers. No matter the sport, the LSC can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org.
Welcome back to the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And the Spartans named 5 captains following preseason camp. And I want Coach to talk about each of the guys. I'm not surprised that Aiden Childs is one of them, but that's still significant. He's a 2-time captain.
He is a repeat that way. And just quickly on the process of how we do it, we get through toward the end of training camp, and guys have obviously experienced each other, seen them work or about it and that type of thing. We kind of have a conversation as a team on what, captain really means, representing us, the influence, describing the type of teammate they would want, those type of things. And then I give them a night to digest. I tell them, hey, we're going to vote tomorrow and that kind of thing. So they put a lot of thought into it. The other thing is I always enjoy when I have them vote, each player can vote for 3 guys. But I want you to tell me why. So they write their name down, but they give me a sentence or a couple reasons, why they're voting for them. And I think it's always meaningful for me then to digest the whole roster, because it's not just 5 guys got votes. We had 27 different guys get a vote at least. And so anyhow, we went through that process.
That's
but
impressive, by the way. Excuse me.
Yeah.
27 different guys.
And that's a little why we have an honorary captain each week, is because we got more than just 5 guys that are true leaders on the team or have influence. And so anyhow, it did kind of separate the 5th vote getter to the 6th. And so that's why we felt good about the top 5. And I think I mentioned it the other day. I was just kind of curious on where our coaches would land on what our leaders are like. And so I actually had our coaches vote and collected that, and they ended up having the same 5 guys be in their top 5 as the players did. And so that kind of solidified it for, at least for me, as we're doing this. Back to, Aiden, back to back here, and we pressed into it. It's not just who's the oldest player, who's the best player, who plays a position that normally is a captain type thing. But these guys did continue to talk about what, his work ethic, his connector in the locker room, leader on the field. And so he'll represent us in a great way again. We had a couple of, last year, same thing, kind of a new player, first year type of thing. And we did again with Matt Golbin. Matt got here in January. He'll be our starting center, making all the calls, brought a great work ethic and voice to the offensive side of the ball. And so feel good with those 2 guys on offense. Jordan Hall probably had the best training camp of any player on the team. This guy has continued to grow, stronger voice, represents us on and off the field, does things with the guys off the field. That was a slam dunk in my mind, and the players felt the same way. Quindarius Dunnigan, defensive end, been here a year. Just, again, work ethic, but a great guy that brings others along, mentor. You'll catch him oftentimes after practice working with a younger player. Strong voice again. And then, I said, I was so fired up for Sam Edwards, not just for Sam, but for this team to recognize what Sam is to the locker room, on the practice field. Does so many different things. A couple guys described him like a glue guy, just a connector of the whole outfit, selfless leader. And so he's our 5th, and really proud of that.
Interesting about Sam Edwards. He's a very, very excellent student, but he's not just some egghead who gets great grades and doesn't relate very well to his teammates. As you said, those guys love him.
They saw it in the work he does. He's a heavy contributor in a lot of different special teams for us. But then, he's taking some reps. We call it, whether it's scout, it's service for the offense, playing big time linebacker in there, making the calls, getting guys lined up. They recognize that an older player that, again, selfless, and the role you asked me to do something particular, he's going to do it 100%. And guys took notice of that.
Jay, you remember your days when guys were voting for who's going to be the captain and all of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the coolest things is if you're voted captain by your teammates, I think that's even more special. And I was fortunate enough to be voted captain my senior season. And, it can't say enough about, because your teammates see you in all different walks of life. They see you in the dorm rooms and, out in the streets, what you do, as well as in the locker room, what some of the stuff the coaches might not see. So it's easier for, it's not as easy for guys to hide. And I think that's what's really important. And it's really cool that both the coaches' top 5 and the players' top 5, came on the same scale there. And 2 guys that really jumped out to me on this list is, the transfer Matt Golbin and also Sam Edwards. You talked about Sam, being a utility guy, a glue guy. Last year we saw him in there long snapping, short snapping, just a guy that just jumps up when time's, ready to go whenever it's called. And for Golbin coming in and, just taking, the team over like that, that's something that says a lot about, one, the character guys that you and your staff recruit in the transfer portal.
Yeah, I think to the Matt Golbin's point, and I liked his approach. Came in January, and he didn't try to be all of a sudden captain leader from day one. Went in, work ethic, understood he was a multi-year starter in another place, and it was another place, and so he wanted to earn it through the time he's been here. January, spring ball began to grow, but then he took this thing over fall camp wise on the offensive side.
He had to be a target for you, I would think, in the portal to get somebody like him anyway. Yeah. You needed a center and maybe a glue guy up front as you try to repurpose the offensive line.
Yep.
How hard was to convince him to come to Michigan
Yeah,
State?
competitive. He had quite a few options. He was just such what we felt like the fit for our place. Blue collar, loved to just work at the game. Obviously had some experience. We prioritized experience in the portal for every position we were taking. Knew that we needed to create some competition in that O-line room. I think we did that. And then specifically to the center position. Tanner Miller was our center last year. He was gone. In regards to needing a guy that had played center at a high level already.
Those guys open up holes for running backs like you, Jehuu.
Absolutely. They absolutely do. And I'm also really excited for the season that Jordan Hall is going to have this year. I think he's a guy that's going to be playing pissed off this year because I don't think he was happy with his productivity last year. And this year he's going to get that opportunity.
I give the guy, a credit because, last year there's some players with him at that inside linebacker position that got a lot of turns too. You think about Cal going to Jordan Turner, and the guy just kept on working. It's not like Jordan didn't play last year. He did, but he's elevated his game, leadership, communication, understanding, not like in pass coverage. Because we're communicating on defense. Well, how they line up determine some things. Getting the defensive lined up, those the motion takes place. Right, he's been a great communicator and command of what we're doing defensively.
I met him when he was here on his recruiting trip, and you could tell a classy young man.
Oh yeah,
and played on some very good teams, obviously at IMG down in Florida. Hey, fans, every Sparty knows everybody needs a timeout every now and then, so why not take yours at the beach? Myrtle Beach is home to 60 miles of warm, sandy beaches, over 2,000 restaurants, and much more. Enter now for your chance to win your very own beach break getaway, compliments of Visit Myrtle Beach. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com/MSU to enter. Your ultimate beach break is just a click away. You're listening to the Jonathan Smith Radio Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
SeatGeek. Need up-to-date information on how to listen to the Spartans? Make sure to follow the Spartan Media Network on social media to see upcoming broadcasts of coaches' shows, ball games, features, and exclusive clips. Check out the Spartan Media Network on X, Facebook, and Instagram, and follow your radio home of the Michigan State Spartans. Go Green!
Meet, greet, and compete in Michigan's capital city. The Lansing Sports Commission is dedicated to helping you host your next athletic tournament or event in Greater Lansing. Our free services include everything from event development and tournament planning to promotions and recruiting volunteers. No matter the sport, the LSC can make your next event your best event. Plan on something greater. Find details at lansingsports.org.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need three things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Of course, if you want to cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go Green!
This is the Jonathan Smith Radio Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Our program comes to you each and every week from One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. And Spartan fans, carry the only colors in your wallet with an MSU FCU Visa credit card featuring the iconic Spartan helmet. Earn cash back on every purchase and show your pride with every swipe. Visit msufcu.org today. MSU Federal Credit Union, the official credit union of Spartan Athletics. Time now, fans, for the Alumni Hall Trivia section. Our winner today gets tickets to the next home game That would be Friday night against Western Michigan, and a gift card to Alumni Hall. Thanks for participating in Alumni Hall Trivia. Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartans shopping experience. And here's our question. MSU opens up the season by meeting Western Michigan on Friday. Throwing it back to last year's season opening win over Florida Atlantic, which Spartan scored the first points of the Jonathan Smith era at Michigan State? I know Coach will remember that. Who scored the most points in the Jonathan Smith era at Michigan State? The first points for the Spartans in their season opening win over Florida Atlantic last year. Meantime, let's talk about you are settling on most of your starters. There'll be some back and forth a little bit on the offensive line because a lot of guys have earned the right to play, haven't they, Coach?
Yeah, and we don't flat out just help our opponent by announcing here's our starter and two deep and things. And so we are hoping to get at really almost every position guys that are going to rotate through. But through camp, you're trying to solve these things. I can see us starting the running back thing. Multiple guys getting carries in the game. Mekhi Frazier, Brandon, and Elijah, all three of them, and in a little bit of a rotation piece there. Obviously, we need to find some balance and have some success the run game. The position you'll see a decent amount is the receiver side with Nick's a big time player and he'll be out there a bunch and need to, but we needed to kind of complement him. And then I thought through some development and the additions we had in January, we've done well there. Mark Haley's had a great camp. Rodney Bullard had another catch today for a deep ball. I think he can stretch the field. Evan Boyd has kind of been a quiet addition that has come in January, had a good spring, can run different types of routes, has a different frame, kind of a skill set that's unique to the room. And the Kershawn McCray, especially inside, but we feel good that the depth at the receiver room, and so we'll try to spread the ball around a little bit as that goes. You mentioned the O-line side. We'll have a couple returning starters that played. We'll have a couple guys that obviously were new. And then, we are early in this season not going to be shy if we feel like, we got 5 out there, but 6th, 7th, maybe even 8th, but 6th and 7th have earned that opportunity to rotate in, freshness, and continue the competition, to be honest with you. So we can, as we solidify the 5, there's 7 that we're feeling awesome about right now. And in that room, we all know we want that room to take a step, just like every position, just like every coach want to take a step from year 1 to year 2. And so looking forward to seeing what that kind of looks like. I will say this ain't a game of perfect. It's not going to be perfect come Friday night. We know that, but we definitely want to set a physical presence and protect the passer. In the tight end room, Velling's practiced the last couple of weeks, feels good where that's at. Mike Distinct is coming back. Mike's had a good camp, can play both of kind of, we call it the Y and the H position. So you see a good amount of those two guys. Parachek coming along, battled a couple things in training camp, but we know what he can do. He played pretty solid for us last year. So that's just overall as a group, like I mentioned, multiple guys. And it does. We're going to have 11 out there for a particular play, but you might see 4 or 5 new faces sometimes as the series goes or from one series to the next.
You talked about the running backs. You have a guy back there that reminds you a little bit of Jehuu, a pounder inside who's tough to stop.
Yeah, we feel like all 3 of them are going to be solid that way. I don't know quite to that level. But I will say Brandon Tullis is a little bit bigger back, tougher to bring down with the initial tackler, carries 1 or 2 guys with him. Frazier out of the backfield has really shown some things, catching it beyond just being able to carry it. Elijah has been good in regards to physicality. You'll see him some, especially on third down, all 3. That's something you think about for a running back. Can he play on third down? And usually what that means is pass protection or catching the ball out of the backfield. All 3 guys have a skill set to be allow that. Jace Clarizio, we're really excited about, is dealt with a little bit of calf thing during camp. So his reps have been a little bit limited. And so his amount of playing time I see growing as the season goes on.
Glad to hear the excitement about Clarizio. He's a local guy from East Lansing, by the way, as is Evan Boyd.
Yep.
And nice to have guys around who really understand what Michigan State's all about.
Yeah, no question. It adds for everyone involved, for having a couple of locals in the state. Love that we continue to grow our amount of guys that came from the state of Michigan. We played high school here and now are playing for us because it does mean something. And we always want to be a place like that kind of starts inside and then grows as we build our roster.
So, Coach, let's go back. Let's go back to the wide receivers room. There's a lot of addition there. How important was it to bring in people? Because last year we saw Nick Marsh was he turned to be the guy there, and defenses started to play what they call kind of like a triangle coverage on him. If you don't know triangle coverage, the safeties, backer, and the corner out there all playing 3 guys on 1 person. Yep. How important is it to alleviate some of that, not only on Nick's side, but also your quarterback? Now he has other threats and other targets that he can, go after.
Yeah, we ran into some of that last year, and I think that's what we wanted to address in the offseason is that, we want to get Nick the ball. He need, those touches, but defenses get paid. They're on scholarship too. And forcing some bad coverage looks to get Nick the ball. So we needed to balance that out, had something else on the other side with some consistency, not just one guy. I mean, Montori Foster's a good player, right? But at the same time, I quarterback, I want to get Nick the ball. He's getting double covered. Now I just start holding the ball, turns into sacks, going backwards, things like that. And so we feel like we've gained a lot of confidence on the other side, opposite Nick, from the quarterback and the play caller.
Yeah, and you said, football is not a game of perfect, but it's a game of ease when you can sit here and say that you have confidently, 7 offensive linemen that can go in there and play.
Yeah, and we do. We feel like that competition that's created, those guys battling for playing time. There is some to be said. We want to get settled into 5 guys so they're getting snap in and snap out. We do want to get that, but you got to have depth in this league. I mean, at every position. We'll talk about defense later here in a minute, but we need depth at every position, and I think we've grown to be deeper, especially in that O-line.
I think we may have an answer to our trivia question from a young man in the studio. Come on up to the mic, brother, and let us know who you are and who you think scored the first points of the Jonathan Smith era.
Hi, George. It's Mike from East Lansing, originally from Hazel Park. There's a guy from Hazel Park right there that I recognize, so had to say that. Did you mean points, not touchdowns, right?
Correct.
I just want to clarify that. So, yeah, because that changes the answer. Then it would be Daquan Dowse because he scored the safety.
You nailed it. With 7:49 left in the first quarter, the Spartans went up 2-0. And tickets for Saturday, make sure you check with representative here.
That guy don't need tickets. He's a season ticket holder to every sporting event in the state of Michigan.
I love that he's from Hazel Park. That's a great working man's town, and too bad the racetrack closed, but that was still an awesome place. Good solid spot in metropolitan Detroit. So we talked about the offense, and we talked about taking a little pressure off Aiden Childs and Nick Marsh. Let's go back to Aiden Childs just for another minute, because he has so much talent and is such a sensational young man. Everybody's pulling for him, and we know that if he gets rid of some of the mistakes that he made last year, and some of those have to do with youth, but I'll let the coach explain that. If he does, the Spartans could be very, very good. I know you're excited.
Yeah, we want that talent to take over, and it's that balancing act, right? He can create. He is athletic. He's actually gained some weight. He's even physically bigger, stronger, and create. And we need to make sure we're tapping into that as coaches for him to carry the ball a little bit and get him on the edge, designed to take some of that so he can play that way. At the same time, yes, we got to continue to find ways to eliminate, on the air side. We got to take care of the ball and not hold the ball in sacks. And again, it's a group effort offensively. I think I got a bunch of respect for Aiden to continue to grind. I think he worked even throughout the year last year, finding ways to improve. And sometimes, he had some downs, then some ups, downs, and then some ups. I think that toward the end of the year, statistically, doing a better job in some of those things, taking care of the ball, touching on the interception ratio. And then all of us involved, we got to continue to help them, like we're saying, having a balanced running game, get them better protected, have them some more weapons to be able to throw the ball to. And we're confident that it's going to look better this year.
He had no turnovers in the final 3+ games of the season after some interceptions early. And, it does take time. Guys just don't walk out there at that position
And he had gotten a little
You
experience.
remember that, Coach?
Oh, I do, totally. And you can't. It's hard to totally recreate true game experience of, especially at that quarterback spot where you're getting hit now. You don't do it in practice. You got a true play clock. You got crowd noise going into it. The momentum that takes place throughout a game, that's tough to recreate. So through that year of experience, he needs to build off of it and know that we support him in that, as especially when you look at his work ethic from starting in January all the way through, the way he works with the guys. They spent a lot of time this summer timing, right, throwing routes, tight ends, wideouts, the backs. And so, he's not going to play perfect. None of us. We're not going to call a perfect game. But if he just goes out there, competes, continues to enjoy it, trusts his teammates, I think we're going to like what we see.
Yeah, Coach, one thing while we're on Aiden here real quick, I know this offseason you brought in Coach Boyer to be the quarterback's coach, and I was fortunate enough, I was at the Big Ten tournament with him, and this guy is just a calm, cool guy. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. That's exactly what especially a young quarterback needs. Talk about the addition of Coach Boyer.
Been around him for a long time. He was with us 5 years for Oregon State. He was heavily involved with the quarterback position there, so he had a previous relationship with Aiden. It was kind of twofold, allowing John to come in and nail down just on the quarterback spot, had expertise in our offense we're running, allows Coach Linger now to free him up to see the larger picture. Coach Linger is still involved with the quarterback some. But I thought it was a win-win on both sides. That calm nature, not just for Aiden, that whole quarterback room. I think all four of those guys currently really appreciate the addition of what Coach Boyer has brought to it. And so that was a move we felt that would help us improve. And hopefully that, again, shows that we like what we're seeing come this fall.
Coach, when you were a young walk-on quarterback at Oregon State on the way to, by the way, setting passing records there, as most of you probably know, your first year as a starting quarterback, how did the coaches handle you, and what do you remember from that you're trying to maybe do the same thing for Aiden?
I have some similarities in how we're trying to approach it because, I got into a game, hadn't started a game, got into a game and played pretty well. Well, I got my first start and turned it into 5 turnovers in my first start as a redshirt freshman. And again, you go back to working these coaches, and then game one and through it, you just living the experience, and it's not just me. Lindgren played quarterback, Boyer played quarterback. We've all kind of been in that seat. Mm-hmm. We use that experience as we're coaching that position.
Well, it obviously paid off for Jonathan, and I'm sure it'll pay off for Aiden Childs and all you Spartan fans out there as we watch him this fall in season number 2 as a starter. This is the Jonathan Smith Radio Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance, Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Billy. Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Labatt and Game Day, the perfect combo for football, friends, and a little friendly fire.
Nice jersey. Guess they were out of adult sizes.
Labatt is the beer that's there for every good-natured jab, every ridiculous comeback. Because with friends, roasting each other is just another way to say,
"You're an idiot, but I love you."
Labatt, brewed for the roast. Always enjoy responsibly.
Hear that roar? That's the sound of Spartan Nation. And Dean Trailways is right there, every mile of the way. As the official ground transportation provider of Michigan State Athletics, we connect Spartans to championships. For every game, every practice, every victory, we deliver it. Elite service that powers the green and white. When you demand championship-level transportation, Dean Trailways is your winning drive. Become part of our team at deantrailways.com.
We're back on the Jonathan Smith Show here at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. And happy to be joined. Our guest this week, couldn't have a better one, co-captain Sam Edwards, a six-year graduate senior, three-year letter winner, played in 29 career games for the Spartans, an all-state linebacker right here in town at Lansing Catholic. He helped the Cougars, by the way, win a state championship his senior year. He's been a key guy on special teams throughout his Spartan career. Let's hear it for Sam Edwards. Done a wonderful job in the classroom, Sam. And congratulations, academic All Big Ten and Big Ten Distinguished Scholar 4 times. You got to spend some nights in the library, don't you? Let's get his mic on. We can't hear Sam. I can hear you now, I hope.
Got me now?
Yep.
Got me?
There you go. Good.
It may be nice and close to your mouth there, too, yeah. Try it now.
Good now?
Yeah, there we go.
Sound great. So, with regard to your academic career, did you think it hit it out of the park at the college level like you did?
I really just did my best. We talk about, from an approach standpoint, how you do one thing's how you do everything. And so coming in, I just wanted to attack that mentality and really lean in. Something I tell all the young guys, just lean into your resources. There's so many people around the building, Mandy down in academics, training staff, nutrition staff, equipment, everybody, is there to help you. And so leaning into them really gives you the best chance to maximize your opportunity and get things done on and off the field.
Great line coach. How you do one thing's how you do everything.
No question. He's a smart guy that way. He's a smart guy. That's why he's
sounds like a coach, doesn't it?
Sam, I remember you from, when I was here my senior year, you were running around the weave. Your dad's the academic coordinator here at Michigan State. And, you running around the weave there with us. And now you're a captain, voted captain by your teammates and the coaches. Talk about the significance of that, being a kid that's, grew up in the football buildings there. And now your senior season, you're that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it really means the world to me. And when he made the announcement, that team meeting, like definitely humbled and honored and a little emotional. Because it really does mean the world to me to join those ranks from a leadership perspective. I've seen the great people and the great leaders that have come through here, like yourself and the others. And so, just growing up around it and always aspiring to that level of character, means the world to be recognized and be, given that responsibility by my teammates.
How'd you break the news to your family?
Well, I think my dad was around when it got announced, so I got
around a lot, which is great.
Yeah, I got a little brother who was in the meeting too. He's helping out as an offensive assistant with receivers. So he heard and then called my mom, told her. She was real happy. A couple tears were shed there. So and then just told my siblings and whatnot. So
that's college football right there. That's awesome.
Yes, sir. How do you balance, and every player has to do this, but the way you've done it is pretty amazing, balancing athletics and academics. And it's obviously worked. I know you put your heart and soul into it, but do you have to compartmentalize, one from another?
Yeah, you definitely do to an extent. Like I said, the mindset doesn't change. You just the backdrop changes, but you definitely have to compartmentalize, especially I think back to some of those grind years, like second and third year academically. You get out of practice at 12:40, 12:45, or just before that, so you can run over to your 12:40 class and take care of business there. And so you definitely got to flip some switches and
sure.
Make sure you're ready to go.
Yes, Sam. Let's go back to the X's and O's here. You play for, and I think we have one of the best defensive coordinators in the country in Joe Rossi. I think he's great, has a great defensive mind. His schemes and everything is great. Talk about playing, for a guy like him.
Yeah, it's incredible, and you know, not just for his defense, but in his position room, our meetings are awesome. It's so detailed. Everything is proactive. You know, we're big on being proactive as a defense as opposed to reactive, because that's how you get beat when you're reactive. But just all the proactive, you know, slight little things. You know, he's got an incredible mind. We'll be watching tape. We'll be putting installs in, and you know, he wants us to understand the why. And so we'll talk about, you know, we have this adjustment versus this formation, and we're kind of like, you know, all right, why, you know? And he'll be like, you know, 2012, I was at Maine, and they came out and hit us with this, and like he's got a photographic football memory, and so he's always and to that point too, he talks about, you know, football's not a game of perfect, you know, mistakes are to be expected, not tolerated. And so once you make one, you cross it off the list. And so that's kind of the mentality when we go into our scheme. You know, if something's hit us once, we're going to scheme so it doesn't hit us again.
You were recently named to the NCAA Division I Football Oversight Committee Student Athlete Connection Group. What is that, and how's that experience been for you?
Yeah, so there's the oversight committee that's like an AD and a coach from each conference, and then there's the player connection group, which is a player from each conference, and so I represent the Big Ten on that. And we get together like once a month.
Yeah, by the way, representing the Big Ten, that's a big deal.
Yeah. But we get together once a month online, and you know, we talk about everything from, you know, playing rule changes, transfer portal rules, you know, spring schedule, season schedule, whether or not certain things are going to change. They ask for our input on stuff like that. You know, the settlement was a big topic for a while. They had a couple attorneys on there to sort of brush us up on the details of that. And so just trying to, you know, provide a player's perspective, and I usually touch base with Coach Smith and hear what the coaches are saying about it and whatnot. And so it's been a great experience sort of seeing that side of things, the administrative side of things.
And I think Sam's a great fit for that. You already, you know, talked about his academic accomplishments, like understanding that school's still important, and then obviously the football side and this ever-changing landscape over the last couple of years. For him to have such a strong voice, not just for Michigan State, for the Big Ten Conference,
sure,
is a huge deal, and I think he's really well suited for that role.
Well, he's a heck of a football player and a heck of a student, so why not? We're going to talk about the defense in a few minutes here, and get your input as we discuss how the Spartans will do just a little bit better defending this fall. That's the difference sometimes between victory and defeat. Want to let you know this: when you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local teams across the Midwest, from big league stadiums to the neighborhood ball field. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Love the dress.
Are we covered for this?
Of course. That's why you chose Auto Owners. We work together to get the right coverage. So when the unexpected happens, you know you're covered.
That's simple human sense.
Now, how do we get to the airport? Take mine.
Thanks, Jen.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners make sense for you.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No, first base!
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Farm Bureau Insurance invites you inside the green for an exclusive dinner with basketball coach Tom Izzo. This unique experience includes a private dinner for one winner and 3 guests with Coach Izzo. The winner also receives a private tour of the Breslin Center, an autographed basketball from Coach, tickets to a future home game, and more. For more details and to register, visit InsideTheGreenSweeps.com. Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of Michigan State Athletics.
Welcome back to the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. We're live at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. And frankly, you want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief every weekday on all of our Spartan Sports Network affiliates, presented by Frankenmuth Insurance. Find a local independent agent near you by visiting www.fmins.com. We're going to take a look at the defense now, and happy to have Sam with us to help us take a look at a side of the ball he knows a lot about. Let's go to the D-line first, Coach. You seem to have added a lot of guys who can help you there.
We feel like the recurring theme, we got some depth there, and some guys have a lot of playing experience, and we want to play multiple guys at that spot. We want to play them at 100% full speed as long as you can go and feel confident about, the next guy coming in. And when headed, Alex Van Summeren's been huge, steady Eddie for us. Grady Kelly's a new addition that came here in January. His playing experience, previous joints, a couple of spots, and he's got some actually leadership to him. Ruquan Buckley, Ben Roberts, Jalen Satchel, all those guys have experience from last year, bigger, stronger, and faster. Derek Simmons is a freshman, true freshman, that will probably get himself into the rotation as time goes on. We've got multiple guys kind of filling holes, but also making plays in the backfield. And I guess I'd say pass it to Sam here. It matters. Playing linebacker, you want those guys doing their role, covering things up, and I think we got a solid group.
Yeah. Our D lines, I'd say, very deep. You mentioned a lot of those guys. Just big, tough, physical D linemen on the inside that, for us linebackers, the more they eat up those double teams, the more plays the linebackers make. So. But no, they're a very good group. They're a close group. Coach Lange does an awesome job with them, getting them to understand the why. I'd say this is one of the smarter D lines I've played behind. D line kind of has a reputation.
They just pounders.
Their Wonderlic scores aren't always the highest, but no, that this D line is very smart. Understanding the checks that we're making and why we're making them, and understanding, formations and where the back is and whatnot. And so they're a great group to play behind.
Jalen Thompson and Quindarius Dunnigan at the traditional end spot are part of that D line. Talk about those two guys, would you?
Yeah, I'd say, two really good, tough, physical players on the edge, set firm edges, can take on, play good physical 6 technique on a tight end, can play a good 5 technique on a tackle, and both leaders as well, guys that people look to, and having good, strong voices at that spot is big when they're calling out tips and whatnot. And so, Q obviously as a captain, and JT as someone who's played here a couple years now. And I remember when he came in as a freshman, he did not look like a freshman, and he's only developed. So I'm really excited to see what those guys can do.
I think this guy could be the limit for Jalen Thompson. That edge position, that's a separate position altogether. Chad Will coaches them.
Yeah.
They have their own separate coach, and they're supposed to get after people, aren't they, Jonathan?
Yeah, it's kind of a unique position that where it's kind of a stand-up defensive end. Also could be outside linebacker concepts on occasion. Ask them to pass drop and play coverage, and we got some new faces in there. Transfer side from whether it's January or the summer, we needed, again, back to this idea of depth, create competition, but some new faces: David Santiago, Isaac Smith, Anelu Lafalele, Cam Williams, all 4 brand new to the program, whether it's January or the summer. And so we got to be able to affect the passer, and that comes in different ways. And Sam can speak to this. Rossi's talked about it. That's multiple ways, whether that's playing better coverage so the quarterback holds the ball, that's creating some different line movements or pressure in the quarterback by blitzing, and then yes, obviously winning some one-on-ones. Feel like that group of the edge can win some one-on-ones and add value in changing the looks up, talking about pass coverage. And so that's a group where you're going to see multiple guys out there rotating through, but I'm excited to kind of see where that position can go this year.
Talk about your position, Sam, linebacker. You like the guys, and we got certainly 2 returning starters coming back, but a lot of guys pressing for time, including a guy from up north in Gaylord named Brady Pretzlaff.
Yeah, we have a great room. Just from a personality standpoint, everyone in that room is looking to lead and take command as they should as a linebacker. And we got a great group of guys. It was really special and important to see the continuity from last year. Just getting back to scheme, just being able to sort of pick up where we left off and add on to that and go deeper into the scheme, into the defense, as opposed to this time last year when we were seeing it for our first time. And so having that continuity in the room and the development of guys that were maybe younger guys getting to know the ropes last year that have really blossomed. Like you mentioned, Brady, I think he's a very good player, has a chance to do a lot of great things for us here. Marcellus Pulliam, great leader on the field, command, plays hard. Samaj Bridgman obviously came in last year as a transfer, very talented, good player, smart player. And obviously we got Jordan Wayne, D Snow, all those guys and whatnot. And so we definitely have a great room, great group of guys that it's competition, but it's also creation. You know what I mean? We're building with each other. We're working together. And we do a good job in that room.
And we got a smart, tough linebacker with us on the show tonight too. Sam, thank you for being around, and we'll talk more in just a moment. You're listening to the Jonathan Smith Radio Show for Auto Owners Insurance.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need 3 things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Of course, if you want to cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go green.
Whoa, boss, how did that happen?
Mind your business.
I mean, how did a forklift make a shish kebab out of our company truck?
I said mind your business, Billy. It's why we have auto owners. We work with an independent agent to customize our policies. So when the unexpected happens, we know we're covered. Because unlike you, minding our business is their business.
Oh, that's simple human sense.
Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
You didn't do this, did you, boss?
Mind your business, Billy.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No, first base!
Go, go, go!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Welcome back to the Jonathan Smith Radio Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Coach, let's take a look at your secondary now as we finish looking through the defense for the Spartans.
Yeah, a lot of we got some new faces in the secondary through the recruiting and that, but we do got some returning guys that are kind of mainstays for us, especially at that safety position. Malik Spencer, Nakai Martinez, or Marion Smith. He's had a really good fall camp. Justin Denson played for us last year a little bit as a returner, so kind of that safety position, the nickel position. It's kind of a blend, corner and safety with Ade Willie. Again, returns. He's done a decent amount of that, but we got the new faces at corner, names that you'll recognize here starting Friday night. Malcolm Bell, Josh Eaton, Aiden West, highly recruited true freshman. You're going to see him out there as well. And you need to have multiple guys. We're going to play with 5 DBs a lot of the time. out on the field, and so you want to have more than 5, and we've gotten to that point in the secondary.
Chance Rucker was a highly touted guy when he got here and played very well till he got hurt.
Got hurt early last year. He's been healthy. Has had a good camp, and he's in that mix as well at corner with those guys I mentioned.
That's really, really good to hear. And in the special teams game, you got one of the best punters in America, and trying to figure out exactly who's going to kick for you, right?
Feeling really good about where Eckley's at. He's had a good camp, and again, he's always had the big leg, but it's about placement, timing, getting it in the right spot. He's had a big time camp and then on the kicking thing, continue to work through it. Might have one guy kick off and one guy doing the field goal thing. We'll find out Friday night.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and come back and take a peek at Western Michigan. This is the Jonathan Smith Radio Show for Auto Owners Insurance here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Hey, Spartan fans! It's college football season, and SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Hail Marys and walk-on heroes. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be part of all the action this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU football games or to any other live event in East Lansing, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of MSU football. Let's go Spartans! SeatGeek.
Hey, Michigan State Spartans, ready to one-up your rivals off the field? Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. By showing up to donate blood, you can help your school win $1 million for student or community health, score a limited edition home field designed Michigan State Spartans t-shirt, and most importantly, save lives. Go to bigten.org/Abbott to find a donation location and put Michigan State in the lead.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. Show up, donate blood, help your school win a $1 million for the Student and Community Health Department. Score a limited edition Michigan State tee and save lives. Go to bigten.org/Abbott to get in the game. We're live here at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing for all the Spartan Coaches radio shows. Tonight it's the Jonathan Smith Show, and you open up against Western Michigan. I know Lance Taylor, their coach, has a very interesting and exciting resume, and they have players. I know that.
No question. Coach Taylor been into some big-time spots, done a nice job his first couple of years, had a quarterback competition, just learning that we might see both quarterbacks. They have a back that has carried the ball really the last 2 years, and this guy's a big-time Big Ten back in regards to skill set defensively. A little bit new players, similar to the college football landscape now. They get some new players over, but a lot of them experience. You look at this guy's a redshirt senior, this guy's a graduate. On defense, they've got guys that have played a lot of college football.
You know, the Western Michigan Broncos have been a factor each and every year in the MAC, and when any team like that gets a chance to come to Spartan Stadium and put on a show, they'll be pumped. Another thing I like about this opening game idea is playing on Friday of Labor Day weekend. You get a jump on everybody else. It's some excitement, and good for the players and great for the fans.
Hopefully it's a great weekend for all of us, no question. We're excited about it. Our players have been working, and can't wait for Friday night.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks for joining us here. This is the Jonathan Smith Radio Show for Auto Owners Insurance. For Jehuu, I'm George. Good night, everybody.
You've been listening to The Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense. The Jonathan Smith Show is also brought to you by MSU-FCU. Spartan fans dream big with MSU Federal Credit Union. Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. Coors Light, choose chill. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics, and Michigan's premier motor coach company. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. And Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartan shopping experience. The Jonathan Smith Show has been a presentation of Playfly Sports in partnership with Michigan State Athletics. All rights reserved. Join us next time on this network station for all the action of Michigan State Spartan football, a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.